Hey everybody, we're live. It's Monday, the 29th of January at exactly 7. I mean, it's amazing how
we're totally live.
7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is right now, January 29th. We're playing DreadLore's Into Space, as we do sometimes, with the entire cast of the Red Writ, which we don't typically do. And our cast is Bill.
Hello.
Daniel, Drizzle, Andrea, and sometimes JazziCabbage. Score by all lowercase letters and Mr. Interrupt. Thanks to our Patreon members, Tim Roberts, Daniel Hulker, and Nostalgic. Art media by Couch Fire Media. And Trois Replay Productions does all of the story and exciting vibicular shenanigans that we get up to on a regular basis. Subscribe today, soldier. You too can subscribe and become a citizen. Welcome into space.
Into space.
Just so you know, at least on my end, I'm not sure if it's just me or not, but Ken, it looks like your monitor froze up.
Nope. He's moving.
Is it just me?
Yeah.
Well, then I guess it's just me. Well, that's
you.
weird. Why would it
Just
be?
you.
That's so weird. Well, that makes no sense. Like, why would he be the only one that's frozen up?
Technology every time strikes again.
That makes no sense. Huh.
It's just, you're right. When you're right, you're right.
When you're right, you're right. And when you're right, you're right. Anybody know what this is from?
No.
Come on, Spaceball. When you're living in a bubble and you ain't gotta care. Nothing?
Been long since
Sorry, I was jammed.
Nice.
Wait.
Nice.
We're talking about what? We're talking about the movie Spaceballs.
I got Hulkers.
Is that
I haven't seen that.
Quote?
Yeah. It's Barf talking to Lone Star, and
it's Spaceballs, not Space Jam. I was like,
I said Spaceballs.
Yeah, somebody said Space Jam.
No, Hulker quoted Spaceballs and said he got jammed, which is another quote from Spaceballs.
Ah, yes, it is.
Who would give me the raspberry? There's only one man who would dare give me the raspberry. Anyone?
It's been a long time.
That movie came out. Kong, really? Goddamn.
I mean, like
that movie came out like 30 years ago.
Yeah, it actually. Well, yeah.
It's probably been like 15, 16 years since I've seen that movie.
It's
yeah.
I could quote that movie when I was a kid. I could quote that motherfucker. Like, there's a scene where it goes to the desert planet, and it dissolves in from black to the sun. And John Candy, who plays Barf, has a voiceover, and he goes, "Nice dissolve." And it's really funny. It breaks the fourth wall and everything. And as a kid, I had no clue, but I could quote that fucking shit.
I can do that with Clue.
Oh my god, what a great fucking. Hey everyone, so this is Into Space. We're the Dreadies.
Into space.
We're playing a game system called DreadLore, LORE.
What?
It's a tabletop role-playing game. It is an immersive role-playing game, and we're going to describe what that is briefly. Essentially, all these players, they have their character sheets. On their character sheets are a bunch of character traits, also known as traits. These are just adjectives and such. And when they want to affect the story, literally kind of take command of it and make something happen, they bid a trait, and that trait colors their action. For example, if they want to break down a door, they might bid angry, and then they savagely beat down the door. Instead of bidding angry, they could bid strong, in which case maybe they just pull the door off its hinges. If the action is opposed or particularly difficult, they will roll dice. And that's essentially how the game is played. You guys want to introduce each other? Or yourselves, I should say. We'll start with Ken.
Ken is playing a character named Dolby Newman, because that's what he does. A space marine. We would call him First Lieutenant Newman. I wasn't actually listening when you asked me, so I could be on a tangent. Sec 3 clearance. His motto is survives at all costs. He's got a laser sword, and he's not afraid to cut a motherfucker in half. Who disagrees with him or crosses him, or he just doesn't trust a little bit.
How about Holker?
Daniel is playing Private Burgess.
I hate all of you.
Burgess, he had a promising career ahead of him, but he's kind of nutty, halfway nutty from being in cryo sleep after many years. He's a medic, a cobbler, and
A cobbler.
likes boxes.
Yeah, he does. Drizzle?
Hates them. I'm Drizzle, and I play Skip Trace, Marine Grunt, who was higher up but got knocked down, and now is just a yes man.
And Andrea?
Hi, I am Andrea, and I am playing Katrina Telmus, who is the granddaughter of a famous or infamous, depending on your perspective, Martian defector who helped seal the fate of the Martian rebellion. And on the one hand, she lived a very lavish and well-to-do upbringing. On the other hand, she basically was hated by kind of everybody who didn't have a reason to suck up to her family. So, she kind of got sick of living that life and decided to try and strike out on her own in the great wide, black, and hope that she could just become known for being her own person as a mercenary, and I guess now as part of a kind of helping out with this crew. She'll see where it goes if she wants to help them out or screw them over in the end. We'll see.
Very good, very good. Let's do a really quick, hey, what is Into Space about? Give each of you, like 20, 30 seconds to talk about the setting. You could attack this from your character's perspective or just a person, a Zen in the world. And we'll start with Drizzle.
It's Space Marines, traveling, who basically spend their life as just Marines because they can't do anything else because of all the cryo sleep.
Holker?
Like everything else in the world, gone. We are on a quest.
Yes.
Yes. We are on a quest to go to the middle of nowhere and to find some people and make them do something for us. And if they don't do that, we will blow them.
You cut out. Did he cut out for you guys?
Yeah.
Yes, he did. We will blow them. For sure.
The up part got cut out.
They will all be orally collected.
We are a bunch of space marines, and we will blow you. Toby, get in there with your laser sword. Why
What
is
is
that
our
funny? It's really funny.
our salute is something like
Oh no! It's it's this.
oh, it's just one hand. It's like
It's the one. It's the one hand. I forgot about the salute. Oh my god.
It's we live as Space Marines. We live in a world that is not too unsimilar to Starship Troopers or Aliens, or maybe The Expanse. Probably, we're all vegans, except for Katrina, who has special privileges of eating meat because of her Martian background, and she is of a different level as we are mostly not so fortunate. I'm from a moon. Dolby is from a moon, and he probably didn't get to eat a lot. So there's starvation also in space, along with a lack of air.
Thank you. Is there any sound in space? It's very cold and hey Andrea, will you tell me something about into space that people can't guess?
Katrina would Katrina would basically, she has the perspective that living in this time kind of makes people toe the line between delusion and madness. She has grown up very in a very privileged position where she got to have access to maybe some more privy information than most people would have. And in her own experiences, she's seen a lot of things that the government goes out of its way to say aren't real, or and she feels like either you're driven to madness, basically having to try and deal with this what's the word I'm looking for, dichotomy between what you see and what you know, and what the government says is, and if you don't toe the line, you're gonna be re-educated, or you kind of go you have to be delusional to live in a world where you don't realize that these things exist. So she kind of feels like she's probably erring on the side of madness at this point.
So what you're saying is you're playing yourself.
Whoa, hey now.
I see. Right. Well,
That's
what you see is what you
yeah.
get. It's my new TikTok series. Anyway, very good. To add in a few things, the Sol system, where you all are from, where everybody's from, it's ruled by the SSA, the Sol System Authority, from its seat of power, Prime, which is the new name for Earth. Everybody's called Zens. You can use the old language if you want, but it puts you on the radar of people that might be a little bit inquisitorial. If you know about Warhammer 40k, this is like Warhammer 800 is kind of where you are. So you don't have the God Emperor or any of that crap, but it is definitely a fascist society, a militariocracy, I think is what it's called. You all have been sent 10 light years away. It's taken you, it feels like 10 years to get to this planet, to the system, which I keep on changing the name of. It is the Novus system, and there's a gas giant. It is there's 2 stars in the system, so a binary star system. There's a big old gas giant, several planets out in the system. Specifically, you're going to a large moon of one of the gas giants called Novus Terra is the actual name. Novus Prime, Novus Terra. I've gone all over the place. We're going to call the gas giant Novus Prime and the moon Novus Terra. The idea is the settlement is on the moon, ergo why they called it Novus Terra. I will no doubt look at my notes later and be like, damn it! It's been totally wrong, but that's what we're going to do for now.
But this moon has an atmosphere.
Yeah. So what?
Just sand. It's got an atmosphere. You can breathe. They're
Yeah.
breathable.
Yeah.
Breathe all day long in there.
Well, you can. It's mildly toxic.
It's oxygen rich. It's super oxygenated.
Are you just making shit up?
No, it's real. That's a real thing. I took a note.
Yeah.
I mean, it can be toxic, but it's got a lot of oxygen in
I
it.
said it's mildly toxic.
The Earth was like that in the
And-
Carboniferous period.
The
Yeah, like you
Carboniferous.
can get oxygen poisoning, like, and that's a thing.
There's a bunch of science behind the choices being made, and some science fiction, of course. You know that Novus Terra has a large cobalt deposit in it, and copper as well. I believe I described the atmosphere as being kind of a palish blue, bordering on a little bit of a violet. As you're over top of it now, because you're out out the starboard side of your ship. If you're at a window, you could see the gas giant, of course, and closer to you than the gas giant is Novus Terra. Doesn't look like there's much water. Although what is dominating your visage is your perspective is the capital ship, the light capital ship, emblazoned on its belly is its name S.
With a snake.
And there's a little snake. Hey Drizzle, who do you think came up with that? Wasn't me.
Well, Hulker came up with that, and I added the snake.
Lord. Anyway,
We undulated back and forth until we settled on something.
I hate you. I hate you. Yeah, you're about to be in a firefight. Kind of mid firefight with this thing. Several 100 million miles behind you. I could use a different distance of measurement, but none of us are astrophysicists, so it doesn't matter. By gravity drive, it took you within 3 to 5 minutes to get to where you are to cover this distance. By solar sail, which is how you would normally travel, it would take a good 20 to 45 minutes. So call it 30 minutes to travel that distance. Someone thinking about the science might think that is wrong. It might be, but for the purposes of what you guys are trying to do, it doesn't really matter that much. Where you just came from, still in the Nova system, there is a bright explosion that is fading. It is the engine core of the pirate ship Rorigan exploding. As far as you know, you destroyed some of the ships that were coming to intercept you. You did not see them destroyed because Katrina Telmus jumped you all rather dangerously. A very cowboy seat of your pants maneuver. Jumped you guys with your gravity drive within the system, pinpoint accuracy, pulled a Picard maneuver in front of the SSSS, and you guys unleashed a couple rockets into their belly before they were able to raise their shields. Got the attention of the captain, whose name I don't think you guys ever found out, but for posterity's sake, I will tell you what her name was. It is Captain Laudry Fell was her name. An iconic name. Laudry Fell was contacted by Dolby via Star Wars-y communique, a little hologram of Dolby's fucking Marine head appears on the bridge of the SSSS. And they have a conversation where essentially Dolby says, look, we're here. We don't want to be violent, but we will absolutely be violent. We will massacre everyone from orbit if we need to. What would be a better option is just get you guys back into the fold. We know you've had a coup d'etat. The SSA just wants, we can work something out. We just want some of that cobalt, the nominal, hey, you're a part of us, and we'll leave, no problem. He actually convinces her. He becomes aware that Laudry, who's in her probably 50s, has seen PMC Marines before. If you do the time factor here, it means 10 years ago or so, when the coup d'etat happened, or I should say, 15 years ago when the coup d'etat happened, likely the SSA sent someone prior to you guys. And there was something that went down. Laudry knew about this, had experienced it, and was convinced by Dolby to stand down. And as she ordered the stand down, her commanding officer, I should say, her XO, shot her in the brain and raised the shields. Not before Dolby having mentioned that he's from Ganymede. Oddly makes an ally on the bridge of the SSSS, who's apparently either not from Ganymede, but probably has some sort of roots there. The communique goes dark. The shields of the capital ship go up. You guys are technically in rounds at this point. It is the antagonist's turn, which is why the shields just went up. Let's pause for a quick moment. I want to emphasize a couple things of the game mechanics for the players. Because this is one of the first times that we have done space combat, like actual vehicular combat. Not that this game is going at all where I think it's going to go. I can only imagine what is going to happen the moment I'm like, hey, what do you guys do? I'm pretty sure Katrina Telmus will be like, I do something completely off the wall and has nothing to do with anything you just said. I'm sure. But we're still going to go through it.
I would
Yes,
never
Drizzle.
do anything like that.
Did we have a new scene last game?
No.
Okay,
No.
just checking.
I'm pretty much out of traits, I think, at this point.
Yeah, everybody is pretty out of traits at this point. I will also mention, Drizzle, Dolby, the last time you left off, you guys had just encountered Archangel, the
Yes.
enigmatic theurgist, who shut down Alfred. You guys thought he bricked him and killed him. In fact, you found out last game that Alfred is not quote-unquote dead. He's the RI, so robotic intelligence, equivalent of unconscious.
Okay.
And Dolby did not try to kill Archangel. Instead, Dolby convinced Archangel to help you all try to get Alfred back online. And Katrina and Dolby talked, and pretty much Dolby found out that he and Katrina had a bit of an alliance. So they don't quite trust each other, but they are working together. Okay. Cherokee Sue is watching over Archangel. Obviously, you don't want this dude who's very theurgically advanced and who apparently can hack into all of your comms at any waking moment left unattended. On top of that, you have 2 prisoners with you, the 2 pirates. You've got Logan, who has an eye patch, and you have the former captain of the Rorigan, Kerrigan, who's a good-looking, wimpy type dude. You guys found out. He really balked when he had to do a spacewalk, whereas Logan, his first mate, is obviously a seasoned spacer. All right, couple mechanics. Any questions on all this stuff?
We also have Wilhelm.
Oh yeah, fuck, I forgot Wilhelm. Yeah, you got Wilhelm as well. Wilhelm is a Voidborn. He just, when Dolby questioned him, Dolby recognized that he is a netic, so he's got a lot of cybernetics going on. The SSA declares if you have more than 40% of your vital systems connected to cybernetics, you are not considered a Zen any longer. You are considered something else and don't have the same rights as other Zens. So that's something all of you would know. Wilhelm said that the lifeboat he had been on had just come from Axminster, the Axminster system, which is a distal colony. Or it's actually really far. It's very far, actually.
We also have a crew of Lieutenant Josh, which is our pilot. And
nice picture.
We got Joel engineering, and he is the engineer. And then we have Alice Brick, who is our muscle and sniper.
Yeah, and she is in a little bit of hot water with the SSA too.
She is indeed.
All right. A couple maintenance things. Also, are there any questions? Great. Okay.
No.
So, Katrina is a private second class, as is Alice Brick. The rest of you, save for Dolby, you are private first classes. So I don't know if it's on your sheet or not, but you are of the first class variety. You are E2s. All right, a couple things about game mechanics. So this is pretty new for you all. There's a thing called scale. Scale has to do with weapons. It also has to do with specifically shields. I'm going to read. So saith the Lord. Scale determines how effective a weapon is when attacking a target of a particular scale. When the scale of a weapon is greater than its target, damage is doubled. Did everybody get that?
Yeah. So if you're better, it's double damage.
Yeah, if the weapon is a higher scale than your shields or your ship, it's doubled. Ergo, at capital ship, if it has capital ship weapons, it's going to put a hurting on. This effect only happens once and is not cumulative. That just means, you don't blow up the dice. If the scale of a weapon is less than the scale of its target, the damage is halved. All right. What that means is, mechanically, when you guys shot those rockets, you got through. Obviously, there were no shields. You were attacking the hull integrity of the capital ship. But the damage is halved because your rockets are scale 2, capital ship is scale 3. You see? Still does a shitload of damage, but it's not nearly as effective. This also means that you could have a small ship with higher scale weapons, which I think you guys do. Your tactical nukes are like scale 3 or 4. So, yeah. In other words, if the scale of a weapon is more than 2 steps... Sorry, I skipped the line. Scale 0 weapons cannot affect scale 3 weapons. In other words, if the scale of a weapon is more than 2 steps lower, it deals no damage. So if you guys pulled out like a blaster and shot the capital ship, literally nothing would happen. Like you cannot damage it with that blaster. Okay. There's scale 0, 1, 2, and 3. 0 is handheld weapons, mounted anti-personal weapons, that kind of stuff. Scale 1 is starfighter grade. Most common weapons, common light and medium weapons are this way. Scale 2 are freighters and light capital ship grade weapons. Common on heavy ships and some medium ships. So your guys are scale 2. You have a scale 2 ship and scale 2 weapons, save for your tactical nukes. Scale 3 are supercharged weapons. More commonly, they're great, super great ships and that sort of stuff. So there's the possibility, depending on how old this capital ship is, that it's same as you or a little better. And that is a tactical thing you guys can play around with. All right. You guys have shields. Who has the stuff written down?
I have stuff written down, but the stuff that I have written down about our ship is not complete.
Yeah.
I only have according to this, if I can find it, we have upgraded engines, a couple of nukes, 6 rockets, and PBNS guns.
Yep.
I don't have a whole lot other than that. I know that more things exist on this ship than that.
Okay, so you got a good amount. You got basically the traits and the ninja gear of the ship. There's a few things you should be aware of. The ship's stats. So the way that ships work, it's the same thing as in the DreadLore Corebook, which you can get from dreadlore.com. Basically, your ship has vitality, and that's also called the hull integrity. When that goes to 0, your ship blows up or it buckles. Yeah, so your ship can also have armor plating, just like a person. It provides it with more vitality. So just vitality is the same as plot armor, right? And then you have your shields, which absorb damage. So this is how it all kind of works at present. When your shields are up, they can absorb a certain amount of damage, and the damage they absorb, you roll these dice, and that's how much they absorb. When they go down to 0, you have to recharge them, and that takes a couple of rounds. It also has a chaos die involved. So the idea is to not have your shields buckle. I'm going to go down to your guys' ship really quick because I'm pretty sure I have the example of your guys. Yeah, you're in a gunboat. You are in a gunboat, yeah?
The PMB Cool Mint.
Yeah. So you are in a gunboat, which is actually scale 1. Give me a second. This is that maintenance I was talking about potentially doing before we streamed.
Oh no, I think it's good that you know.
Yeah, it's a scale
I feel
1.
like I feel like we had an episode where there was a whole lot of conversation about with our RI that has been knocked unconscious about our ability to attack and defend these capital ships, and I remember that not being an issue during those conversations, but
Are you bitching? Are you bitching right now?
No, I'm not
What's going on?
I remember that not being an issue.
Oh,
I
our
remember-
contentious RI that we don't trust may have lied to us.
I remember not getting any information about it, so that is what I remember.
Yeah,
So I
well,
feel like-
when you had the RI completely functional, he took care of all of this.
Yeah, but we don't have that, so we're at a loss.
What's specific? Go on.
No, the specific question was how would we do in a fight with these ships that I think I asked our RI Alfred, and he said that we would be fine ish. So
Yeah, what he said. First of all, I'm not going to defend any of this because, yeah.
You don't.
Yeah, okay. Okay, you're right. Whatever. At any rate, I'm going to tell you what the scale is of your ship and everything. The scale of your gunboat is scale 1. The hull integrity, or you could also call it vitality. You are armored. It is 26. So you got 26 vitality on the ship.
Gotcha.
It is actually heavily armored. Your shields are medium grade. What that means is they deal, or I should say they absorb 2 die 4 plus 1. They have a shield rating of 20. And this is how this works. Once your shields absorb 20 damage, they buckle. So they can absorb a maximum of 20 damage, but each time that you get hit, you roll 2 die 4 plus 1, and that's the amount that they absorb that attack. It adds up to 20 and then buckles. And the idea is, if you have a shields expert or someone writing Copilot, they can be manning the shields and recharging them whenever they go down. And in that way, you maintain your shield bonus. The issue is, if that starts getting out of hand, your shields will buckle and then you're screwed. So that's how it gives people in a starfight or a starship battle something to do. That's the game mechanic idea of it. You guys are actually you're pretty stacked. You got a scale 1 ship with basically heavy, a military grade upgrade. Okay, couple other things. Your armaments, you have the P&B cannon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me go down to these other 2 things. You have SR2 rockets. These are heavy. You have 6 of them, which now you have 2.
4.
Oh, you had 4?
Shot 2. No,
oh,
you had
yeah,
6.
that's my bad. That's my bad. Yeah, you have 4. They can be fired from the bow or the aft. They can also, and it's a ventral firing arc. And then you have your T&Ws, your tactical nuclear weapons, which I think you have 2.
Yeah.
They are actually scale 2, is what they are. They deal 2 die 12 plus 1. Let me go up to, and of course it's a big AoE. The AoE area of effect is long, which means, I mean, it would consume half of a capital ship pretty easily. Let me get to your starship weapons really quick.
Ship weapon.
Starship weapons.
So, if you are enjoying this this thrilling and riveting area of content that we've created, I think that you should comment in the chat, say hello, as well as, I don't know if anybody said anything yet today, but but we're just waiting. So go ahead and comment, because like we really love the support that you guys give, and it makes us feel good when people join us in the chat and we talk. It's a nice time. As well as there's a core book that this is all based in. You can find us, the core book, and more information about us at the Linktree /DreadLore. It's got everything and anything and all the things DreadLore, as well as on Thursdays we do a Geeky Gamer podcast at 7 p.m. on our YouTube, which is also findable via the Linktree /DreadLore, where we talk about geeky games, music, films, games, about anything really. Piracy, like online security.
Philosophy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Philosophy. Getting canceled. All sorts.
lots of cancel. Right. So
Cancel subscription.
so all of this information is found in the setting document, which is free on Google Drive. Any of it you guys want to be looking at it at all. Right. So heavy weapons that are of this nature, they deal 2d6 plus 1. So your your rockets will deal 2d6 plus 1 because they are heavy weapons. But, you know, depending on their scale, that can be pretty devastating.
And then the nukes are 2d12.
Correct. Yeah, the nukes are great plus weapons.
What about the PBNS guns?
So those PBNS guns, I actually don't see them on the setting, which may mean that we just changed the name. I've got Vulcan Cannon, and then I also have some Hisbees, but those are kind of different. The Vulcan Cannon is a heavy weapon, deals 2d6 plus 1. It's swiveling. This is the thing that Skip traces on.
Yeah.
And if we want to get down and dirty, which would be awesome, so you should write it down, Drizzle, and I think also Ken, you should write it down just because your ship has them. I got 25,000 rounds. Each shot you take, so each time you're like, fire the gun, it shoots 500 rounds, which means you have about 50 shots.
No.
Now, technically, you have 2 of these weapons. I think I said you had 1. You technically have 2. One is from the ventral, and one is from the dorsal.
Oh, nice.
So one's on top, one's on the belly. Or I should say one's on the belly, one's on top. So you actually have 2 guns. Think the Millennium Falcon, kind of. 2 firing arcs. And they swivel so they can cover. And you guys have 50,000 rounds. I'm going to say you have 100,000 rounds. That way you can do a reload. You're a military grade ship, so you should have more than you need.
So that's 100 shots, basically.
It's 200 shots total. 100 shots per gun.
Okay.
Yeah, you will likely never have to worry about this, but it's kind of cool to keep track of it if you want to.
I have. Okay. Good to know.
All right, these weapons are heavy weapons. They are scale 1. Usually, the scale of your ship is the same thing as, or the scale of your weapons is the same thing as your ship. Doesn't have to be, but usually it is. So in modules and stuff, when it's written and there's not a scale written, you just assume it's the scale of the ship.
Gotcha. Exciting.
Something that I was messing with is the idea of how shields work and how granular people wanted to get with it. We're not going to mess with that. We're going to keep it pretty simple. The main thing is, if your shields take damage, their rating goes down. And on a turn, someone or like an NPC or something needs to deal with them. Otherwise, they just keep on going down and then they buckle. And it takes 3 turns to get them back. Now, in the Into Space setting, there's an ability called Shield Expert that allows you to reduce the time it takes to raise shields. You can get it down to like an actual Shield Expert could, on their turn, get the shields back up. But the average Zen, it takes you 3 turns. Ergo, you drop Cunning, you do it on the player term, you do it the next turn, which would probably be cunning, to try to get the shields back up, or people could take turns or whatever.
Cool.
All right. That's that and such. Any questions?
Not right now.
How about this? Better question. Who doesn't have questions?
I was going to say on the last episode, when we opened fire on the ship, I think we only rolled to shoot with the rockets, but I would imagine we were weapons free, so that we would have shot some of the BB.
Yeah, that's a little retconny, dog.
Is it? Because I feel like I said shoot everything at it, and we would have opened up with everything. I can spend a pip if you want. To say
well,
that
you
that
make a good case. You make a good case. Although, what had Skip Trace been there, it may have been different. At the same time, Dolby was under the impression, potentially, that you might disable and or destroy the capital ship since you got the drop on it.
Yeah.
Were you willing to do that?
Yeah, absolutely. I was absolutely willing to destroy.
The issue is, the issue is that in the event you get that weapons free, and let's say you blow it up, that means we have to retcon the entirety of what just happened.
Okay, I understand. So that there is a potential that we would have destroyed the ship.
Of course, you going weapons free and on the underbelly of an unprotected ship. So the thing is, I get the player need to just destroy this thing before it hurts you.
Sure.
But are you also willing to retcon all of what happened?
I get it. I mean,
I'm willing to allow it. Absolutely. Because it makes sense.
When they killed the captain, I think we spent cunning to shoot. That was one of the things I was.
No. You spent cunning to get there. You'd spent cunning to get there, and you had the drop on them already.
Yeah.
Yeah, you shot you literally shot as you were coming out of gravity space.
Yeah, we shot first and then messaged them.
Yeah.
That
was on the cunning turn. So what I'm trying to say is this. If you want to have gone weapons free, I'll let you do it. It's just that if you blow up the ship, all of what transpired technically
all
just
that
didn't happen.
Conversation wouldn't have happened. I understand.
Yeah. Which is fine. That's fine.
We'll just go with what happened and move on.
I don't know. I kind of like the idea of. See, the thing is, you guys started a mutiny on that ship.
We did.
But if you blow up the ship, then you don't get the mutiny, and so you're alone again.
But I was under the impression that we went weapons free.
All right, well, let's do it. That makes sense. That makes 100%. Okay, so Skip Trace is on one of the Vulcan guns, so he should bid and throw down to attack.
And I think Andrea shot the rockets.
I think Katrina shot the rockets. Was anyone else on the other
no.
Vulcan gun?
I think I was not prepared.
You have plenty of people.
No, Katrina made a call, and so we shot kind of in a different direction than what I was expecting. So I will like to message some people on the ship to do things.
Well, so we can't do multiple because you have already taken your turn.
I get it. So yeah.
What I'm asking is anyone else on the other Vulcan?
No, not in this.
Okay.
Because everybody was guarding somebody. They were trying to get Alfred back online.
Okay.
And so
Skip, you guys, you feel the gravity well ease as the gravity drive turns off. In front of you, this is a little bit retconned. You see the capital ship appear, rapidly grow larger, I should say. As you near it, with intense speed, you see 2 rockets shoot out. Action's on you, sir.
Okay. So when he said to fire, so I guess I'll bid front lines and fire.
All right. Make your throwdown.
What would be the aspect on firing
Grace.
I do want to interject one more time.
No.
I think he would have to spend cunning in order to fire because this is cunning round.
I was gonna let it slide.
Oh, but
I was gonna
not
let
like
it
that.
slide.
I wasn't gonna let it slide.
I was gonna let it slide. Drizzle, you gotta spend cunning. Or you don't have to.
Yeah, you don't have to spend.
If you don't want to spend cunning,
your
you don't
choice.
have to. We'll just go after the antagonist. Meaning the entirety of what we just went through doesn't
Would have been-
actually apply.
I know.
Ken, I hate you. Hold on a second. Just a second.
I don't know what to do.
Yeah, you gotta choose. It's on you, dog.
Oh, we had to catch
Decisions.
Drizzle up with, or not? We had to catch Skip Trace up with the all the different possibilities.
I would have probably spent cunning in the time.
That's probably a good move. Otherwise, y'all are gonna get shot.
Hurt, maybe,
Mm-hmm.
probably.
Let me see here. Violence. Okay. Yeah, I only got 1 success. And I
Okay.
re-rolled twice. So
All right. You can, bid the guns on the ship. I believe they have a D6 extra die. You can do your abilities and all that good stuff if you want.
okay.
Uh,
I will bid the
The threshold to hit this is technically 3 because it's already been attacked once.
okay.
So it went down from 4 to 3. Oh no, it was 4 because you were coming out of gravity. You guys are out. No, you're still in it. Give me a second. Still in the same cunning round. So yeah, it's 3. It's 3.
Okay. I'll bid the Vulcan gun. Yeah, I don't have any because Master at Arms, would that count towards?
Oh yeah. So you all know, again, there's
That's
some
amazing.
abilities for siege weapons and these emplacement weapons and such, which you can jump on later if you want. But yeah, you can use Master of Arms at present.
Yeah, that's only going to give me a D4, which won't give me. I still only have 1 success. So
What I can do, I would go ahead and, if it works for you, can I give him? Can I aid him?
Yes.
Okay. Then I will use. Let's see. What is? I wrote it down. I have no idea what does Script Kitty do?
So a script kitty is Hulker, do you want to tell what a script kitty is?
It's I believe it's someone who writes really, really basic programs to try and compromise the security of other computer systems.
Okay, I remember now. That's why I wrote it down.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Exactly.
Basically,
people that are not hackers that are still able to hack.
Okay. So I will bid Netic, and then send when I realize that he's gonna shoot 2, I'll send him some of the telemetry data from what the targeting
Nice.
I did.
Really nice.
And so I'll give him my Grace die, which is a D12.
Don't fuck it up.
Oh, well, thank you, because that gives me 4 successes total because I got a
Nice.
12. So I get
Nice.
Damn.
yeah.
And you
Thank
get a trade back.
That helped a lot.
All right, so you beat it by 1. You
Oh,
get that damage. Roll your 2d6 plus 2. And they don't have their shields up yet.
7 total.
7 total.
Yeah.
As you hear the line of bullets, the thundering from the Vulcan gun, even though it's muffled, it rattles the ship as 500 rounds go out. You guys are down 1,000 because you actually had shot before Skip, so you can mark off 2 of the 50 shots.
We didn't. We shot 2 rockets.
No. When you shot at the Rorigan.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you're right. You are good call.
Right. You said 7?
Yeah.
I have no eraser. Number 2 pencil. Ah. And the rating on these, the scale is 1, correct? So, 6. All right. As the rounds, the explosive rounds, dent the hull, ding, 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 ding. You see the hull, the plating warping radically and sparks flashing and such as the 2 rockets hit and explode, engulfing the whole thing, or that part of the ship in fire. A few of the panels blow off as you see some people fly out with a bit of a hull breach. Those rounds, Skip, you see actually penetrate the hull, and a couple of them shoot out the other side. You are aware of the havoc, the utter havoc that rapid decompression can cause as some fire blows out into space. This capital ship is very large. Obviously, it's a big fucking capital ship, like a mile or so long. So this is a chunk of it, but you guys have damaged it. As the scene continues as it did before, Dolby sees the captain assassinated. The telecom goes off, and anyone looking out sees the blue sheen of shields erupt around this capital ship. Answering one of Katrina Telmas's previous questions from the last game, those shields, physical objects can pass through them, but it will damage. They're essentially, I mean, it's a particle field, so it will damage a ship, or it'll damage a person. It'll kill a person trying to go through it. That said, you can ram one. What you typically would do is either be going really, really, really fast, and or turn off your shields. Otherwise, they kind of just bounce off each other. Yeah, but I mean, if you're ramming speed, then you're ramming speed. Yeah, there's a little bit of lore of people doing the slow blade pierces the shield. It's really technical. It's very difficult to pull off. Where essentially you're like either hacking their shields or you're using your shield polarity to do a thing and kind of cancel it out. That's possible, but it's uncommon. Antagonist turn. Unless anyone else is dropping cunning, it would be you guys have Burgess, and if you want to do cunning for your NPCs, you also have that. You are muted, sir.
Can we spend cunning for Archangel and Engineering?
Yes. Yeah. If you want your NPCs to go in the cunning round, just somebody spends cunning for them, and then you have to bid them, of course.
And have they made any progress on Alfred?
Not as far as you're aware,
Okay, good to know.
but you don't know.
Well, I guess there's no reason to spend cunning for either one of them because they need orders, don't they, for them to do something? They don't have orders, or do you think they would take their initiative?
Well, if you bid them, then you can essentially have them do something,
Okay.
assuming it's within their character.
No, I think we'll wait until
The capital ship rolls that that injured part of it, that damaged part of itself, away from you all, as Katrina and Skip, since you guys are there, Skip, you're on the dorsal side, so the top of the ship. Is that right? Dorsal's the top, right? Ventral's the bottom, I think. Dorsal fin. I think so. I think dorsal's top. Katrina, since you're in the cockpit, and Skip, since you're on top of the ship in this little bubble with a gun firing, you see this perfectly. You see the several Vulcan cannons that this capital ship has turn, and you wait for the rockets to come, but they don't seem to. It's a strange thing. Usually a capital ship that you guys have, seen, have been on, they would have a railgun, which would end you pretty quickly. This close, a railgun is perfect. As it might cross your minds, oh, that's an old ship. Maybe they don't have a railgun. What was before a railgun? What was it? As those Vulcan cannons open up, you guys can bid or throw down who can see this. So Dolby Burgess, if you're in a position where you can see the fight, then you're absolutely able to do this.
Sure, I'm sure Dolby's on the bridge and he's looking. So
Yep.
I'm going to throw down.
I'll bid War Torn.
So I'm going to give you guys a
bid
little bit of different information.
Low light.
I'm going to bid drink
Jamie.
wine.
Yeah. I
No,
was
you
gonna
said
say-
low light?
Yeah.
I will bid 0G comfort.
We'll start with what Skip sees. Skip, what'd you bid?
A War Torn.
Thought crosses your mind, perhaps. Maybe they don't have a real gun. This ship, you heard something about it being old. I don't know if Dolby told you how old it was or not. Dolby, did you share all the information with Skip or not?
Yeah, with Skip knows all the information.
You did. Dolby had mentioned that this ship is. Do you remember how old it is, Dolby?
It's
thought
at least
it was
200.
200.
200. Yeah, 200.
It's 200 years old. It was old when it came out here. So, colonial ship, the SSA allowed them to take, this ancient ship out. And the colony was pretty old too. So they likely didn't have a railgun on there. Them not having rockets is strange. Maybe there's some reason. Bidding War Torn though. Those Vulcan guns, you note that they're shooting in bursts. They're not shooting normally. Normally you just unload hell and use the tracer to grab the ship and blow it up. But they're not doing that. It's as you realize, maybe they're low on ammo. I mean, why else would they be doing it? The thought might cross your mind, however. It could potentially be a feint. So that's what you're going to gain from that. Katrina, what did you bid?
0G comfort.
Bidding 0G comfort. You'll realize that they are corralling you. The Vulcan guns that are shooting are just cutting off angles that you could go at. A stream of these explosive rounds to where it would be essentially an area of effect you have to go through to get away from where they want you to go. Dolby, what'd you bid?
Low light.
Bidding low light. And are you at a control panel, sort of digitally viewing this, or are you at a window, like looking out? Like
I'm kind of behind Katrina.
oh, behind you're in the cockpit. That's right.
I'm in the cockpit.
Seeing what this is, it kind of depends on if you guys communicate with each other. Dolby, you see a tactic occurring. The capital ship is definitely putting itself between you all and Novus Terra.
Good.
Right. As you're being corralled, the ship is coming closer. And Skip Trace, since you have the massive vantage point being on top of the bubble and this thing floating above you now with the planet directly overhead, obscured by the capital ship, you see the weapon they have. Does anyone know what it is? Can you guess?
Is it a giant vacuum cleaner?
Good callback. Anybody?
I don't know, a railgun probably. No.
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 It's a laser sword.
Schwartz.
Is it a catapult? Do they have catapult? Do they put a big rubber band on top of their vessel and then pull a big rock back and they're going to shoot an asteroid at
Oh.
us?
It's a trebuchet.
Trebuchet. Oh, yeah.
A trebuchet. You all are hilarious and kind of close. As you see the charges releasing the bombs as you see these large, they're actually not small at all, they're like the size of this room, explosive charges. They gleam a kind of cobalt blue as these bombs, like the bomb style, fall down toward you. All right.
So
Driving the ship.
They're like space mines, or
They're like
depth
space mines.
chargers, or depth chargers.
They're more like depth chargers. They're going to explode though around you, so they're more like depth chargers. So, Katrina, this would be on you to not get depth charged. Reaction roll.
Yeah. Action roll. What would that be?
It would either be your. Well, you've.
I ate it with my grace, so I guess I can't
Yes,
do my grace.
so you don't have grace.
To be my
mind
wit then?
or wits, mind or wits.
Would
Just like,
I have a
please let it
reaction
be
roll as-
mine.
Yeah, you could try to shoot him out of the sky. Sure.
Okay.
Can I aid her
Yep.
at some point?
That's 3 successes for me.
Ooh, nice. Hulker, will you roll me a D8?
I only got one
Yes.
success on my reaction roll. My dice are horrible tonight.
Oh.
Good.
I rolled a 1 on the dice.
All right, didn't do anything. Roll me a D10, Hulker. please.
D10. That is a 3.
All right. Nada. So the threshold to avoid direct damage is 2, which Katrina, how are you rolling or how are you maneuvering to avoid the mines? It looks like there's around maybe 5 to 7 that you just see, although you're looking into the black, so it's hard to tell.
Would
It's
Katrina
actually
know
threshold
if
3,
they're
that's my bad. Go on, sorry.
Would Katrina know if they're like set up like if they're proximity based?
You could make a guess. They're probably timed. There's probably someone looking and going. Tick, 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 tick. Like the
So
old school
Katrina would actually go like she'd cut the engines and basically pull out the precise controller using the retro thrusters on the ship.
As the gunboat leers up, as one of the charges goes off, you just see the flash of blue light with almost like a lightning effect. And then you feel the impact as the rest of them start exploding. You feel in the hull just the thunder of it. Skip, as you let off let off a shot of the Vulcan cannon, you said you got 1.
Yeah.
That will actually reduce the threshold by 1, which means, Katrina, you get a narrative point.
Ooh.
As Skip, you actually blow up a couple of the mines before they get there. Mark off
So
your ammo.
With the narrative point?
Yep, go on.
Oh, I was gonna say. I mean, it depends on, obviously, without seeing it visually. Would it be possible to like, when Skip shot his gun, it set off the chain reaction a little sooner than they meant to, so it actually hurts their shields a little bit?
Sure. Yeah, we can do that. Because you guys are about to take damage anyway. Okay. So it's 2 die 10 plus 1. Who wants to roll this? We'll say Dolby. Will you roll me a die 10? Hulker, will you roll me a die 10? So this is the old AoE effect. It is halved because you got a clean success.
4. I rolled a 4, so it's 1 success, I guess.
I'm sorry, it's quartered because you got a clean success. You got a 4, you say?
Yep.
This is just straight damage.
Oh,
4, so that's 5.
1. Okay.
I rolled a 10.
All right, so 15 total. So it's 15 damage. Normally, the way that I would do this is I would add a static bonus depending on how many charges there are. But the way that I'm arbitrating it is the amount of mines there are determines the threshold and the fact that you're going to get caught in the wake of the AoE, like regardless of what you do. But because you got a clean success, it halves it, and again, so it's a quarter point. A quarter of 15 is 6, rounded up, so it's 6 damage to your guys' shields. Who wants to roll the shields?
I guess I'll roll them.
All right, roll it. And this is how much your shields absorb.
This is a 2d4 plus 1.
Yep.
Oh my god, I rolled terribly. 4.
All right. So your shields absorb, just negate 4 of those damage. Mark that off your shield rating. That means your ship, the hull, takes 2 damage.
Okay. So
as you guys feel
20, our shield rating would be 16. Is that correct?
Right. The maximum is 20. It is down to 16. It basically gives you more health that can recharge. All right. As you feel like a wakeboard in crashing waves, as Katrina pulls back on the yoke and starts to ride the waves a little bit, cutting through, making sure not to get hit by the Vulcan cannon fire. Player turn.
Um,
You survived.
Yeah, just barely. I'm gonna message. I'm gonna open up the channel for the whole ship to hear me. And I guess start belching orders. Engineering, get on shields. Archangel.
Ding, 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 ding.
I don't know how long you're gonna take to get those get Alfred back, but I would like him back.
It would be a lot easier if we weren't, in a firefight.
Yeah, well, I mean, do what you can. You got Cherokee Sue there with you, so hopefully it'll take a little less time. Burgess, get on a gun. I'm gonna stay here on the bridge and assist.
You guys hear the lackadaisical voice of Dolby Newman casually.
He's very calm.
Telling you in combat.
Katrina, can you get us out of here? Make it look like we're running. Like, get us out of here.
Katrina will actually look up and why make it look like we're running? They seem real intent on not letting us get close to the planet. So let's corral them into our own direction.
Our goal isn't to destroy or kill them. Our goal is to survive and fight another day. So let's do death by 1,000 punches and get out. 1,000 little nicks, 1,000 little cuts. I'd rather get out of here. They clearly are not good, and we'll jump in and do it again at a later time. So I bet we turn, we blow and turn and go. I don't know what that means.
Flip and burn. Oh no, flip and burn. The flip and burn.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a
burn the steak. Burn the steak. So who are we bidding here?
Who are we
Archangel?
bidding?
Yep.
Archangel is supposed to get the RI back.
Okay, so you're bidding him for that?
Yeah, and Cherokee Sue is supposed to help him with that.
Okay, so their bid, and you want Josh Durgan to do what?
No, engineering.
Dole engineering.
Dole needs to get on the
to jump on the shields. Okay, so he's bid.
Josh is a co-pilot, so he's Josh help.
There's several things. So there's several things that he can be doing. Keep on talking amongst yourselves, and I will get this pulled up really quick.
Yeah, Josh should be doing countermeasures. I feel like a tool sitting there barking orders, but somebody's got to do it.
So you've got command, which is what you're doing. You have the helm, which is Katrina. You got tactical, which is sensors, shields, weapons. Although you've delegated that. Engineering is life support, the Petray drive, power distribution, repairs. Basically, Dole is doing engineering. Medical, security, and then sciences. And what you don't have, go on.
Go ahead.
What you don't have covered, engineering is life support, the Petray drive, power distribution, and repairs.
Oh, well, that should be engineering, and then Josh can be on shields and stuff.
Okay, so tactical is sensors and shields. You can divide that as however you want. The idea is that one person can do a thing at a time.
Sure.
So if you had one of them on shields and the other one, for example, on sensors, to know if those other ships are coming after you, for example.
Sure.
That's up to you.
Well, I think what we need to do is, Katrina, can we jump? Can we jump again the way we jumped here? Can we jump away?
That's a good question, Will. I mean, is it like a recharge time on the grav drive?
No. There is a chaos die.
Okay.
Let's jump away.
Katrina will say, "Yeah, just to make it easier on me, I'm gonna point us towards empty space."
The issue that you're gonna have is, this capital ship is actively frustrating your efforts to leave. You can get through it, but they are actively corralling you.
Yeah.
All right, so that's Dolby continue actions all on you guys.
I'm
Oh,
almost
yeah,
done.
Katrina will start running the game to try and get out of here with the grab drive.
Burgess, you go to the ventral Vulcan cannon. You jump in the seat. There's no seat belt. What do you do?
Good.
I fire it.
At what? Just like into space? Ah!
Yeah, to test it out. Gotta make sure it works.
All right, as you do, 50 rounds go off, whoever's counting. It works.
Burgess is ready.
Okay.
Fire
You do
the
anything
ship.
else?
I will also.
The one that's trying to kill.
I'm firing at the ship.
All right, what do you bid to do it?
Tactical.
I just picture, like your guy's ship like so being pulled back, the capital ship over here. Skip like shooting at the belly. Meanwhile, Burgess is like shooting off into space. Thousands upon thousands of years later, there's a science vessel going through this system. Talking about science, and they're having a debate, a philosophical debate about the nature of the universe and the nature of alien species. How should they be as these bullets impact their ship and their ship splits apart, exploding into space? Back in game, what do you bid, Skip?
Tactical, and I got 2 successes.
All right, the threshold is 2. Roll thy damage, sir. Mark off thy MO. As the Vulcan cannon hums and thrums beneath your grip.
7 more damage. And then that.
As you're just peppering, like writing your name in the hull. You see the shields absorbing bits and pieces of it as the bullets shoot into the shield. Some of them just vaporize. Some of them shoot off errant. But a few of them actually do make it through, I should say. Burgess, are you actually going to shoot at the ship?
Yeah, if it's in view.
Yeah, you guys are just so pointed at it. So both cannons.
Oh, I'm taking a shot.
All right, what do you bid?
I will bid.
It's as though Katrina has played Halo and knows how to put the gunner in a good position.
I will bid. I'll bid soldier.
Yeah, it's great. Throw down for me, sir. Threshold is 2 to hit this massive capital ship.
Would that be a wits or a brawn or a mind?
It would be up to you. You can make a case for all of those.
All
Brawn
right.
would be holding it steady. Wits would be knowing where to fire. Mind is, putting it together and being like, oh, let's concentrate fire. Grace is you're just
I'm gonna
accuracy.
go with brawn.
Okay, so you're holding the fire button down at space as you wheel the gun around, holding it steady.
Three successes.
All right, you beat it by 1. Roll 2d6 plus 2, and that is your damage.
Nine total.
As you wheel the stream of bullets as it starts impacting in the shields, lang, 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 dang, 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 carving a jagged cut through. All right. who is next? Let's see, Dolby, Katrina. Have you already gone? You are muted.
I
I've
just
gone.
said that I'm running the, the.
Okay, so it is on you to try and maneuver out of this shitstorm. So the threshold to get out of the kill box is what you're looking for. Threshold should be around 5. However, because they have used their strategy and age-old tactics and their size and all these things to put you guys in a really bad situation. That said, something is a brew upon that ship, lowering the threshold to 4. The mutiny is just starting as cutscene to certain hallways of people getting word that the commander, a guy named, I'm going to tell you his name, so that at least he existed at one point in time, Commander Peyton Stoneworn, or Stoneworth, my bad, I can't write,
Not
has
Commander Peyton,
assassinated the captain, Captain Laudry, and people are, think of The Hunt for Red October, if you guys have seen the movie. There's a militia quickly forming, firefighting with small arms on the middle decks, trying to get to the bridge, but it does not cause them to lose control. So threshold of 4, if you can get a clean success, you're somehow able to get out of the kill box. Otherwise, it's some degree within there.
Okay, so first I am. Let's see here. What do I want to do this? I will bid Wild to do the action. Then I will bid EVA Specialist to activate Expert Pilot.
Nice.
So that gives me at least 1 success. Now let's see how else I can do. And I do have my Grace die back now, right?
Yes, it's another turn, so yes. The aid persists until your turn.
Okay.
Which means that whoever you aided, actually, Skip, I don't know if you rolled it or not, you benefit from that extra dice that she gave you. If you want to roll it for successes, you can. Yeah, if you aid someone, they get that die until your next turn.
Gotcha.
Oh,
yeah.
That's
that
why.
would've given me
Go on.
That would have given me 1 extra success, so that's
Okay.
1 extra damage.
Yeah, that way, it's this idea of you aided, you lost that aspect die, but then they have it and they can use it.
So with the extra success, that's a total of 5 successes.
All right, that is a clean success with a +1. As describe, how do you get out of this kill box? What does everyone see?
You'll see Katrina basically ignoring the engines because that's not what we're going to be using anyway. She will use the retro thrusters to quickly spin the ship around, pointed towards somewhere else in the black. And she'll start punching in the calculations to grab jump out of there.
All right.
And she'll hit the enter button, say, okay, here we go.
As the ship wheels around, your all's magnetic boots cling to the floor. Dolby, I'm assuming you have braced yourself since you're in the cockpit anyway. The rest of you are in seats. Although Burgess, you are not in a seatbelt. You're sort of slung around, but you'd used your brawn, so you're kind of like using the weight of the cannon and the mass of the cannon to hold you upright. Cutscene to Archangel, who just seems to float as the ship spins around him. He seems unaffected. Cherokee Sue lurches forward using his large frame to brace himself. Alice Brick takes a spill. You hear her go, "Ah, cock!" as she slams into something. And different degrees of shouting from the other crew. Explosions all around. Skip and Burgess are letting loose with their Vulcan cannons. As Katrina, you punch in the coordinates and hit go. What do you bid to make this happen?
For this one, I will bid. I'll bid Tech Mage. Why not?
Yep. As almost like a wizard, Dolby, you see Katrina pull up the holograms like Iron Man, throw them around, find a corridor, and hit go. As Josh and Dole, who were up there, Josh and Dole, who were up there, for a moment look over and share a glance as they say, "Whoa."
Actually, I will say before that too, you will see her cybernetic implant, light up, and actually her eyes will glow a little bit, and you might start to question how much a machine actually is she, basically, because she kind of like, yeah,
yeah.
All right. Yeah.
As that happens, roll the requisite chaos die. Do you know what it is for those engines?
Oh, I didn't realize it wasn't ever I thought it was always a D6.
So it's almost always a D6 unless they've been
They've been
it's a
upgraded.
person using them that has a better like if you're a Thergist, you can increase that chaos die. They are upgraded, which means they give you an extra die, but this is the specific chaos die we're talking about.
Okay. So no.
So if you were to bid them, you would get a D8 instead of a D6 because they've been upgraded, but their chaos die is a D6. So,
Okay. Well, on the D6, I got a 3.
all right, that is not a 1. As space around you turns into a tunnel, as it's morphed, and moving without moving, you slide literally like a slip and slide of space. Where are you going? Are you in the system? Are you on the other side of the planet? Are you really far away? Where did you actually take you?
Katrina would have taken us into a place out, just like straight out into the black between, or let's see, in what direction? I mean, it's hard for me to see it without actually seeing it in my head.
Yeah,
but
just
so basically, she would have tried to put it out into a just dead, empty area of space that they would be very hard to spot them.
Oh, you don't have to go into a dead place of space to go that. Like a couple AU, and you would be far enough away. So if you're going out of the system, which is far, that's extremely far, then that would be the black. If you're just going deep into the system, far enough away for them to not be able to just catch up with you, that's also possible. Because the solar system is like massive.
I don't think we need to go
Okay,
to the
then
black.
I guess probably yeah. In that case, she probably would go deeper into the solar system.
We'll calculate it this way because I like this kind of as a playtest. Most of these ships, unless they're military grade, are going to be using solar sails. So do it in sail minutes and sail hours. How far are you going? Or gravity drive minutes, drive hours.
So in terms of gravity drive, you said it took us essentially 5 minutes to get from where we were to where we are.
Yeah, you travel.
Okay.
You travel at light speed in this gravity drive.
Okay. So in that case,
And sail minutes, they're traveling a quarter the speed of light.
Yeah.
In that case, she probably would have, she probably would have decided to send the ship about 10 grav minutes deeper into the system.
Yeah, so that's about an hour away by a sail.
Yeah, that's perfect.
As you guys, after about 10 minutes, you're still in the system. You see a frozen planet. Perhaps it reminds you of Neptune in an odd way. We'll say it's, the purplish white. As Josh on the sensors looks up where they are, takes a couple seconds. So he looks up at you, Dolby, and says, Lieutenant, Looks like they've deployed some sails. We have a few ships headed in the general direction. I don't think they actually see us yet. He looks up at you. Their sensors aren't as good as ours. I'd say maybe an hour, unless they've got a gravity drive. You hear Archangel come on. Yeah, if they've got the same kind of technology. You say they're a lot older than you guys? Hello?
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
they're older tech than what we got, Archangel.
I'd say if they got one of them, you call them gravity drives.
Sure.
Hour and a half. No. About 30 minutes is how long it'd take them to get here if they got one of those.
Oh, that's fine. I think once they're almost here, we just shoot back. What do you think about that? Let's regroup. Well, let's plan an attack. We'll go right back to the planet.
Over as it is a new scene.
What? You
Good.
gotta be kidding me.
Guys, I think even though that ship might be old, I think we might have avoided any extended warranty they may have had.
Yeah, we did that.
We showed
did
them.
do that. What was the deal with shooting just rounds off into space?
Well, I didn't know if
Purchase.
it worked. I've been in cryosleep for years. What do you think?
What was that about? You know, we gotta pay for that.
Yeah, we got to pay for all the other stuff too.
We
I mean,
gotta
I
pay-
think given the fact that we're in hostile territory, paying for it is less of the issue as opposed to just being able to get it at all.
Sure. So what do you think? We wait till they come back out here and we just shoot back in.
Personally, I would recommend coming in on a different approach vector. Maybe doing a couple smaller jumps and
Yeah.
coming around the back side of the planet if we can.
That's a good call.
What if we came in front of the star and stayed
they
in front of the
couldn't see
star, so like the glare would conceal us until it was too late.
Good idea.
Captain, don't they have 2 capital ships on this
Sure.
colony?
Well, if they send one of the capital ships out here, then if we go in, the other capital ship will be here, and we'll be there. So we don't have to worry about it if they.
Given the defensive posture they took immediately, I don't think that's a likely scenario.
Yeah. Josh, will you monitor the sensors, make sure nothing pops up? I think we stay battle ready. I think we should all suit up into spacesuits, those of us who have spacesuits, and maybe be prepared just in case we get some shrapnel and through the hull.
Katrina will actually kind of like look over you and give you like a weird squinty face. But you all have pea suits, right?
Yeah, we have pea suits.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. I mean, I've heard stories of Marines, not being properly equipped, and just because the whole rugged Marine thing. I just wanted to make sure you guys weren't, crazy.
I don't think I've taken this suit off outside of cryosleep for more than 15 minutes for the last 15 years of my life.
Alice is walking up. She has a little bit of a bump on her head, and she looks up at you, Dolby, you saying this. Oh, have you never taken how do you take a shower, sir?
You got to take a shower before cryosleep.
She kind of looks over and shares a glance with Dole and Josh and then Katrina. You haven't taken it off in a while then.
All right. It's enough of that.
She kind of smiles a little bit as she says, well, Private Telness has a point. What we would do is we would, in a dogfight, we would evacuate the atmosphere, go full suits, and that way there's no explosive decompression.
Makes sense.
Although that may not work for us since we have some prisoners.
Well, they have suits, don't they?
She kind of looks
mean-
over. I think.
Yeah, they're all wearing suits. Who's watching them at this point anyway?
Cock! As she turns around and ding, 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 ding. Never happen again. Sorry. Ding, 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 ding. She runs back. All right, let us take a short break. Get some water, use El Baño and all that kind of stuff.
Do it.
And as it is a new scene, and you guys have hit this seminal moment of kind of finding out and encountering what's on Novus, the Novus system. You have a plan? We can come back into that.
Excellent. Well,
Yep.
this week it's Monday, January 29th.
Definitely Monday. Feels like Monday.
It feels
Monday.
totally like
January
Monday.
29th.
Monday.
Feels
thank
like-
you all
Yeah.
Don't
For
trust
joining
that
us.
day.
in our into space adventure
Into space.
in the DreadLore system. We play it every week with our guests Bill Bunkum, Ken Howl, Daniel Holker, Drizzle, Andrea Elliott-Johnson, and sometimes
Yeah.
JazziCabbage. Thank you to all lowercase letters for some score, Mr. Interrupt as well. Our Patreons are wonderful, wonderful Patreons. Tim Roberts, Daniel
Roberts.
Holker,
Daniel Holker.
Nostalgic.
Nostalgic.
Maybe you could be a Patreon too, and I would say your name often. Or we could just get Holker to make fun of you. Anyway, art media production by couchfiremedia.com. And
Thanks,
a lot of
Couchfire.
story elements. And the world that has been created is brought to you by Trois Productions.
Whoever they are.
Please don't be terrible. Subscribe today, soldier. Subscribe and become a citizen.
Get your citizenship.
All right.
I ship.
We're out. That's it.